Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happenings today. Happy New Month to you all. We pray and ask that the month of March will bring you good tidings and favor in other works of your hands. Or very quickly, just from a few hours ago, the legal team of Nnamdi Kanu, his legal counsel, visited him in DSS. A lot of drama ensued, and a lot of people are asking questions, but there's one thing that is certain and it's good to note that Nnamdi Kanu is very much alive. We hope also that he's also very much healthy. But clergymen are beginning to report, are beginning to speak up, and they are making heavy demands, having gone through quite a lot when it comes to the issue of sitting at home, insecurity in Southeast, and they are making this demand. I don't know if it will fall nicely in the ears of the federal government and the government of the day, but I do know one thing: a whole lot of Southeasterners do want peace in the region, and they're asking that this may only be the reason why peace may come in. About two strong clergymen have decided to make up, tell the government of the day exactly what must be done for peace to be restored. Before we go to the newspaper to find out who the clergymen are and what they are telling the federal government that will solve this issue of insecurity inside the once and for all, like you subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you say bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Well, the Monday sit at home will not stop in Igbo land until the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, is released by the federal government. A cleric, Bishop Abraham Ude, has said. He said Ndigbo should, however, forget the 2023 presidency because it would not work. In a statement yesterday in Nnewi, Ude, the General Overseer of Mount Zion Faith Global Liberation Ministry, said Ndigbo has suffered hardship because of Kanu's detention. He urged the federal government to stop the sit-at-home by releasing the indigenous people of Biafran leader to save Igbo from further punishment. Ude said the Igbos were being eliminated instrumentally because of the continued detention of Nnamdi Kanu, the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Ipob, by the federal government. He said, and I quote him, "Those wasting their time talking about Nigerian president of Igbo extraction should know that it will not work. I have never supported that project," he said. Who tells you that an Igbo man will be allowed to test that seat? He asks that question. But if by accident an Igbo man is made president, he will not last on that seat. So it has been revealed to me. According to him, this is coming from revelation that he got from his interaction. Another clergyman have also decided to speak very strongly over the same issue of insecurity and in Southeast, and here is what he has to say. According to the news, said release Nnamdi Kanu now, end the unnecessary suffering in the East. Every Monday we are forced to sit at home. People without jobs, our youth are suffering. The thought is incarcerating Nnamdi Kanu will solve the problem, but it has worsened it. The level of insecurity and suffering in the region is at all-time high. God is not happy. The Holy Spirit is not happy. Let the church leaders stand up and condemn evil. Father Ejike Mbaka speaking earlier at the adoration ground in Nugu. Now, you can now see it's becoming very clear that the clergymen have decided not to become a political anymore. They have seen the suffering of the Southeasterners. Don't forget that quite a whole number of people, especially those from the Igbo extraction, they are handy people, they're businessmen, they're artisans. They do quite a lot of businesses. So more often than not, some of their businesses yield result on daily basis. And whether we like it or yes, whether we want to tell ourselves the truth or not, one thing is certain. For every time there's an insecurity or a breakdown of security in Southeast, one way or the other, the Igbo Igbos, whether young, old, young men, will somehow find their way to 6 feet. Not probably because it is deliberate, it may or may not be deliberate, but because of insecurity. Who are those living in the southeast? It's majorly the Ndigbos, which means for every time they adhere to sit at home or they don't adhere to sit at home, there likely may be a blood flow. Whose blood is it? May likely be an Igbo man's blood. So one way or the other, no one encourages insecurity and no one encourages militarization because there's always casualties. Now, for every time this is being done, sit at home, let Nnamdi Kanu go, and all that. The more they are keeping Nnamdi Kanu, the more the youth are getting aggrieved, the more it looks as if the government of the day that those southeastern governors or politicians are losing their grip. And the more they get angry to show that they're still the chief security officers, they militarize the zone. At the end of the day, it's not a win-win situation for the southeasterners. Okay, if eventually they allow elections to hold and they conduct census, you may just be surprised the level of reduction in population that we probably may see in Southeast. Don't forget that ever since this whole situation began, some persons have relocated their businesses out of Imo State, out of Anambra State. Some of them, not all, have decided to take it to a neighboring Delta State or Akwa Ibom State, as the case may be. But there's still some persons who still have goodwill, commercial advantage. They still find themselves there. But I can assure you, they quite a number of amounts to keep their business running in area of insecurity, area of security. So you now see that this issue of the clergymen calling forth even doesn't need rocket science, really doesn't even need you to be overly very spiritual conscious. The fact that the level of insecurity that is going on, or sit at home that is going on, and the youth getting restive, it boils down on the fact that Nnamdi Kanu has been detained. Whether we like it or yes, we still need some sort of dialogue and negotiation. Because one thing is certain, the federal government, I don't see them just releasing Nnamdi Kanu just like that. They went through a hackling tax in trying to locate where he was abroad when he was still overseas, and it was also another big tax which they did by bringing him out of Kenya where they last saw him to Nigeria. For any government to go through that extra mile to get who they're looking for, clearly shows you that they can also, they will not just release him just like that after going through all those processes. It doesn't make sense. So I feel that if he will be released, there has to be some conditions that will be attached to his release. But whatever the case is, at the end of the day, Southeast seems to be Southeastern region seems to be the grass where two elephants fight. Well, I guess I just hope that this eventually will hit the ears of the stakeholders so that they can at least have a roundtable discussion over the release of Nnamdi Kanu. A lot of it is hinged on either his release or his further detention. That's where we're going to wrap it up. Let's meet in our comment section, please. What's your take?